So what is technical analysis? Let us start with that. Using past data to project future prices. That is the basics of technical analysis, right? Now, everywhere we are doing this, projecting past data, using past data to project the future. Everywhere. When we talk of fundamental analysis, what is done in fundamental analysis? How the company share is performing in the past. Share, not share, I'm sorry, the company financials. How much profit the company is getting in past. Whether the profits are increasing, decreasing. Everything is studied, and then we say, fine, the share may reach, go higher. So we buy it. Technical analysis is much more sensitive than fundamental analysis. You know, fundamental analysis, I still recollect, the year was 2008. And Satyam Computers got a Golden Peacock Award, internationally acclaimed award for excellent governance, etc., etc., etc. On, I think, 7th or 8th January 2009, the CEO of Satyam declared, Mr. Raju declared, there were serious frauds in Satyam. Balance sheets were all fabricated, and Satyam stock collapsed from 200 to 6. 200 rupees to 6 rupees in just 1 or 2 days. All right. So fundamental analysis, which is based on balance sheets and reports, doesn't always tell you the truth. In technical analysis, Satyam was falling right from 400 plus to 200 before the fraud came out. So many places you will find technical analysis outclasses fundamental analysis. Okay. Secondly, fundamental analysis mainly depends on the balance sheet. What is the balance sheet of the company? And it is many times proven that balance sheets are fabricated. They can be fabricated. Even topmost accountants and all, they are also ultimately a party to it, voluntarily or involuntarily. All right. And ultimately, it happens that if the company books are cooked, the entire fundamental analysis falls through. Technical analysis, on the other hand, depends on what is the price. Whether the price is increasing or decreasing and at what rate. Okay. And usually, you know what happens? Something is good or bad in the company is already known to some people, unless sometimes it happens that it's accidental type news. Other than that, it is known. And when it is usually known, the company insiders are already taking the positions either in their account or in, say, some proxy account, which will allow them to take profits. I still remember LIC Housing Finance. Um, I think it was trading somewhere, figures I may not be recollecting exactly, but somewhere around 750 when it gave sell signal on technical analysis. All right. Nothing wrong was there in the stock. And fundamentally, it was looking very strong, etc., etc. And it simply nosedived after a few days. And it bottomed out at, I think, 40% or something levels. Now, this big a fall, very sharp fall, prices less than half. That was not nowhere on fundamentals. Fundamentals were still showing strength, but technical had already given the sell signal. Same thing happened with Satyam. Same thing happened with stock market. The big bull market in early 2000s ended on 21st January 2008. But right from 10th, 11th January 2008, technical analysis was giving a sell signal. So those who sold their portfolio at that time, or those who shorted Nifty at that time, they made huge money. Fundamental analysis started showing weakness only after the fall was over. After Nifty crashed to, say, 6,300 to 4,500 or so, then fundamental problems started coming out. Okay. So fundamental analysis tells you buy also late, and it never tells you sell in time. And that is why technical analysis outclasses fundamental analysis. In my career in markets, last 20 years or I'm studying technical analysis, I have seen hundreds of fundamental analysts who later on became technical analysts. But I am yet to come across one technical analyst who later on went pure fundamental analyst. Okay. So you are using past data to project prices in future. So what we do, we take advantage of oscillators, indicators, patterns, etc. for this projection. The question is, are all of them always correct? The simple answer is no. All are never correct. All will never give you same signal at the same time. And that is why never use all the possible oscillator indicators together. Many times I have seen people, oscillator indicator, they trust too much. Actually, what you should trust more is the price. I keep on saying again and again, Bhav Bhagwan hai. Price is supreme. If price is not showing something, oscillator indicator may be wrong. All right? If price is saying something, that is most important. Now, whenever we are going to study this course, we are going to give maximum importance to price. Oscillator, indicator, patterns, they are to be taken with a bit of common sense. Okay? We start with technical analysis. There are three basic principles of technical analysis. The first is prices of stocks move in trends. Now, see, there are two common theories. One is called random walk hypothesis. What random walk hypothesis says? Random walk hypothesis says that prices are decided based on whatever is the information available about it. It has nothing to do with yesterday's price, previous past data. But in reality, if we see, suppose Reliance is priced at 1950. Next day, it doesn't start from 95. It closes somewhere near 1950 only it opens. Right? So it is not very correct to assume that prices are not at all related. It's not random walk. It's very, very systematic walk. So first thing, technical analysis says prices of stocks move in trends. Three main trends we have already studied and sub trends are there like strong, medium, mild, etc. But these three main trends are uptrend, downtrend, and neutral trend or sideways trend, flat trend. Okay. But once a trend is taken, according to technical analysis, it continues like that for a few days. It doesn't reverse all at a sudden. It gives you enough warning. Many times it happens. People keep asking, sir, this stock is down 3% today. So should I short it? Just see what is happening in past. If it has come up by 10% in last 8-10 days, it's down 3% in one day. Fine, the uptrend is still intact. The trend has not changed, only it came up too fast. So momentarily it is taking a dip. Unfortunately, what happens? We see red color, we go short. And then we find the point we shorted, it went down a little. We were happy. It turned up. We said, okay, it will go down again. It again goes down a little. We are happier. Again, it comes up. We say last time it came up again down. So again, it will be down. But this time it just shoots above our shorting price and goes higher. Why does it happen? That happens because we are neglecting something called the trend. If the major trend is up, you be long in it. If it takes a dip, it's a buying opportunity. It doesn't change all at a sudden. Okay, never. Unless and until some accidental negative news comes. It will not change. Now, does it happen accidental negative? Yes, it can happen. I remember Aban Offshore was a company for offshore oil drilling. And somewhere near American coast, I think West Indies, near West Indies, they had a very big oil rig which was digging, and the ship collided with that oil rig. Now, this is not anticipated. Aban Lloyd, which was around 1600, suddenly started collapsing. Next day, it opened directly around 1200 and it went down, down, down. And finally, it went out of picture everywhere. Company kept on saying that they have insurance of that oil rig. But then later on it came that oil rig was insured, but the profits in it were not. So again it took a dip. So these type of things are unusual. They don't happen every day. May happen once in 4 or 5 years. All right. Or Oracle Finance, top four executives were traveling in the car, met with an accident, all four died on the spot. Now Oracle, which was a nice uptrend, suddenly went down. But as I said, that these are exceptions, and exceptions only prove the rule. Other way around, you will never find stocks suddenly going down without any apparent reason. Okay, because somebody or the other is already aware of this. Let us take an example. On television, they announce Reliance has got a very huge gas find somewhere. What will you do if you hear that news that Reliance has a big gas find? What will you do? Come on, let us see. What would be your action? Buy. Right? This is the biggest mistake we do. Biggest mistake. I'll tell you what happens. That much gas is there. Who knows it first? Who knows it first? Who will know there is a lot of gas over there? Directors. Does the director go there to check how much gas is there? Company. Who is the company? There is nothing like company. The one who works there, perfect. Perfect. The technician over there, the engineer, the scientist who is doing that analysis, they know it's there. What will that person do? First thing what he will do is he will buy. If he is not allowed to buy in his own account, he will buy in his wife's account, brother's account, father's account. Then he will tell his relatives, he will tell his friends. Reliance लेके रखो, बहुत बढ़ने वाला है. What do? They will buy Reliance. They will tell their kin. Reliance लेके रखो, बढ़ने वाला है. Then this fellow will report his senior. What his senior will do? He will buy. You know what happens? Prices start increasing. Prices start increasing then only, then and there. Then the report keeps on going higher, 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 reaching to the upper level. Now, upper level people, not necessarily all of them are just going to go and announce on television, right? They usually come out with a bad news first. So what happens to the stock? The stock goes down. These people will buy shares. May not be indirectly their account. That has to be declared declared to SEBI, right? But they will buy through someone. They will have some company, investment company. Through that, they will be buying it. Then the news is announced on television. Reliance has got a very huge gas find like never before. All of us rush to buy. We never think who is selling. Who is selling? We never think, I want to buy because there is a gas find, which I heard on television. The seller, is it that case that seller doesn't have a TV in his home? All right. So remember, price trends are set in advance. A good technical analyst will start buying when price starts increasing. He will not wait for the news. We always say buy the rumor, sell the news. Okay? Always remember. So, that is the level where insiders are actually selling. They have come out with this news that there is a big gas find, and you are usually the last person to consume that. So suddenly you start buying. Reliance reaches 2350, and then The buying dries up after some time and the stock collapses to 1800. We are holding Reliance at 2350, thinking it will go up one day. It's Reliance after all. But the problem is you should have bought at much lower levels, which we usually miss. Okay? And we buy higher level and then we hold on. I am a long-term investor. Sooner or later, the stock is going to come up. Okay, stock will come up. That is not the question. The question is you could have bought it at much lower price, which you bought at higher price and you got stuck. Okay? Understood? Second is prices discount everything. Many times, sir, this news is there. Should I buy? When did this news come? Any news comes for any stock, usually you will find in half an hour, 1 hour, the prices will move up or down depending on what is the news. And then the power of that news is gone. Okay? Then the power, suppose I tell you today that Modi ji has given 20 lakh crores in a relief package. Do you think news is greatly positive? Do you think it is a greatly positive news? Yes or no? But when the package was given, the prices simply went up. Why? Because that time the news had impact. If I tell you COVID second wave is in India, every day 2.5 lakh people are falling sick due to COVID. Fine, that's a stale news. It has no importance. So remember, any news, importance is short-lived. Of course, it will depend on what is the news. Okay, if it is very big event, it may continue longer. But majority of the news, they are in effect for a very short time. And many times, market participants know the news well in advance. So if you come across any news, first thing what you see is it the fresh news or is it the stale news? Is it already discounted in price? Okay, sometimes what happens, you just see the chart and you find already the news is 2 days old and already the price has come up. Now what should I do? Do nothing. Don't touch that stock. Some rare occasions it happens that all at a sudden the news comes and market has not moved at all. Now you can take action on it. So what is the market expecting? It is already discounted. If interest rate market is expecting it will be increased by 0.25%, RBI policy announced it's increased by 0.25%, there will be no effect. Absolutely no effect of that news. The impact is there only when you are getting something unexpected, some surprise. Market moves on surprises. Market doesn't move if expectations are met. Exactly. All right. So all at a sudden SBI giving 80% profits, fine. That's a surprise. Market moved big. But if that is not expectation, market is already discounted. Market will not move on it. Market means any stock, any commodity, everything. Okay. Now this continues further also, that whenever we are talking of a stock making profit, quarterly results are out and stock has made good profit, will the stock go up or not? It may even come down. Why? Because market was expecting 1000 crores profit, stock has got 800 crores profit. So market had already adjusted the price to 1000 crore, but now it made only 800 crore. Market will come down. And market is expecting 1000 crore loss, stock makes loss of only 900 crores. So market expectation was 1000 crores, only 900 crore. That's a great news. Stock may go and say 5% up in a day. So what we think is not always the reaction of the market. Market has already discounted. And prices discount everything. All known information is discounted in prices. Only what is unknown information which comes out, that moves the price. Okay. Now, if we actually stick to this, what happens? Suppose from yesterday till today, no new information about a stock has come. What may happen? The stock may not simply move. So there comes the second another breed in market. They are called as jobbers. What is their job actually? Their job is making us believe that this stock is going up or this stock is going down. So what they will do? They will buy 1 lakh shares at 110 rupees, sell all 1 lakh at 110 rupees and 10 paisa. Again buy it at 110.5, sell it for 110.15, buy it again for 100.5, sell it at 110.20, again buy it. Slowly, steadily, they will keep on raising their buying, selling in lakhs. But you will not see order as 1 lakh there. They use what we call iceberg order initially. Then they start using full order. And we see the stock is rising. Then we rush to buy. These people sell everything, they go out. The stock has started its momentum. Their job is to make the stocks move up or down. Okay? So these jobbers keep working everywhere. And they are actually price manipulators. But can they manipulate for the long term? The simple answer is no. They manipulate only short-term day, intraday movements, they manipulate. And we see how many buyers are there. There are 10 lakh buyers, only 1 lakh sellers, so we buy. But remember, all these prices are getting manipulated. We are using actual price change end of the day to end of the day. Jobbers don't leave any position open at end of the day. They will only square off everything, always, compulsory. So end of the day prices, why they are given importance? They are given importance because there are no jobbers position open at that time. Okay? Only those who are serious investors, those who are willing to keep the position, those who are confident till tomorrow, only they leave their positions open. Third principle of technical analysis is history repeats. But truly speaking, it doesn't repeat exactly. Okay? I'll tell you what happens. History repeats means if a particular event happens once, next time the same type of event happens, same type of reaction is there to the market. But honestly, here we have a law of diminishing returns. What is law of diminishing returns? Suppose you like some food item. You are given one bowl of it. You will enjoy it. Okay, let us say you like something like gulab jamun. You like gulab jamun. So I've given you a bowl of gulab. You will enjoy. What will happen if I give you second one? Fine, you may eat, but not enjoy that much. Third one, you will be reluctant. Fourth one, that may bring all first three out. Okay, so that is what happens. History repeats. You get the similar reaction, similar impact if similar news item takes place, but the importance goes on decreasing. All right. Earlier, I remember in 1990s, had there been a big bomb blast or something, market used to come down. Immediately, market used to react to it, come down. In early 2000s, bomb blasts became such a common thing, market stopped coming down. In 2005 to 2010, 11, if there is a bomb blast, market used to go up. So it was not exactly repeating. It had actually changed the reaction. Whatever was to happen has already happened. Now there is nothing to worry. The blast is already over. Now, of course, 2014 onwards, I have to say that sudden bomb blast in any of the cities or something like that has not actually happened. So I don't know what will happen if something like that happens now. I don't know, because people have short memory. They have forgotten that. But anyway, so history repeats. 2009, Manmohan Singh government came as stable government. Market simply went through roof, almost 30% in 2 days. 2014, Modi government was a stable government. Market went up, but did not hit upper circuit. 2019 elections, market just went up. Okay, fine. So all three times there was stable government coming in power. So history was repeating, impact was not repeating. Market went up. It did not come down. It went up only, but the magnitude of going up kept on decreasing, though actually the further governments were more and more stable. Okay.